Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to this very early morning routine of mine. As you're probably aware, a good morning routine starts the night before. It starts with carefully preparing yourself to wake up at the time you set for yourself, going to sleep early enough to have a solid night's rest, and making it as easy as possible to have a good transition into your day, one that will make you feel content and energized to have a great day. So right before I go to bed, I fill my water bottle and give Oliver some food. I close the doors to other rooms in the house, otherwise I would probably wake up to the sound of Oliver falling from somewhere he wasn't supposed to climb. Then I go to sleep. On days when I wake up at 4:30, I try to go to bed around 10 p.m. if not earlier. The reason I choose to wake up this early is because I'm not a morning person and it takes me hours to wake up no matter what time I get up. I prefer to do that while the rest of the world is fast asleep, and I've found that I enjoy my mornings so much more since deciding to do that. There's no rush or pressure to hurry up or stress because it's not even morning yet. Also, at 4:30, my body doesn't resist me. It's like my brain is still asleep, so there's no argument or negotiation, unlike when I wake up at 6 or even 9. When the alarm goes off, Oliver comes to check that I'm awake, although he can barely open his eyes. First, I turn off the security alarm system of the house. I don't even know how to call it, but after forgetting to do that one time, which really traumatized me, I do that first thing in the morning ever since. I drink a bit of water to wake myself up, and then I go to wash my face. We recently moved into this house, and right after the move we had a month full of holidays, so I've been out of routine for a while. I'm sharing this because I'm still adjusting to waking up at this time and trying to ease into it. Ideally, I'd wake up at 4:30 if I want to have a productive day, but I listen to my body and I allow myself to sleep in and wake up later when I feel like I need it. I'm so sorry for the dark shots. This was filmed in real time and it's pitch black outside. I like to open the window for a bit because the cool air helps me wake up. Something that has changed for me since moving to this house is that I try to get as ready as possible upstairs because I get lazy about coming back upstairs later to brush my teeth or change. So I do all of that before I head downstairs. Another behind the scenes moment for you. Apologies if you noticed the camera being a bit wobbly. That's because for my sit down videos I use a different setting than I do for vlogging, and I forgot to switch it back to my vlogging setting. So some shots in this video and in my previous video, if you noticed, are a bit shaky. I filmed them all around the same time, and you'll probably see this issue in my next video. I'm not entirely sure. I'll see when I start editing it, but if you do, please bear with me. This took way longer than it should. This part took way longer than it normally does because of filming, especially in a new location, but that's fine. You see, that's what I'm talking about. I feel like I can take my time and I don't mind it. So going downstairs, I make myself some decaf coffee and sit down to read my book. I'm currently reading Feel Good Productivity by Ali Abdaal. If you don't know him, he's a YouTuber and an entrepreneur. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I really like his content, so I thought let's read his book as well. I've just started it, but I really like it so far. It's very informative and I love learning about new research. And in general, I really like this positive approach to life. An unremarkable suburban district of southern England. Come on, Addie. I love Kent so much. It's such a beautiful area. It's actually quite remarkable in my opinion. I really wanted to live there. After that, it's time to stretch a bit, nothing too crazy, just to wake up my body and oil all that rustiness from the night. It started to brighten up a bit by now and it was time to prepare some breakfast. I made an omelette and a salad, so if you're vegan you might want to skip this part to avoid seeing the preparation of the eggs. I know it might seem weird to some of you that I'm preparing a salad, but to me, where I come from, a breakfast without a salad is not a proper breakfast. And as we get into the colder months, I try to include fresh veggies in every meal I eat. Then I eat and check some messages. James was in Amsterdam during that time, so I also checked in with him while I was eating. Afterward, I cleaned up, put everything where it belongs, and tidied Oliver's litter box. Sorry for the TMI, but that's just reality. Then it was time for Oliver's morning routine as well. Sitting outside, looking at the birds and smelling the fresh air. And here I am, checking that I turned off the alarm system once again before opening the door. And then we sat outside and I had my coffee outside. I'm learning from Oliver to enjoy nature first thing in the morning, and I'm trying to incorporate it into my routine as well. Then I read a bit more. I really wanted to finish the first chapter. And then I went upstairs to do a proper skincare and get ready for the day. Okay, time for my cat ears once again. So now it's time to do a proper skincare, and I'm also going to put a little bit of color on my face. My skin is having a very rough time at the moment, and I totally understand why with all the changes around me. That's why I'm trying to go back to my healthier habits, to eat more vegetables, drink lots of water, sleep a little bit better, and all of that. So I'm going to start with washing my face. I feel so much better now. So I put this cream eye pencil in my eyes to make them look a little bit more awake. And now I'm going to try and do some small wing just to add a little bit of color. Hopefully it won't take too much time. Let's see. It actually turned way better than I thought it would, so I'm happy about that. Moving on. So with concealer, everything would look so much better. So while I'm adding I'm using the camera as a mirror, so I'm so sorry about it. I want to talk to you, that's why I'm doing this. I want to share some insights that I had while reading the book this morning. So basically I just started, so I read chapter 1 only and the introduction, of course. First of all, I'm loving this book so far, if I didn't mention that in the voiceover. One of the things that, well, obviously he wants us to feel good about productivity and to insert more play and fun while we're working and being productive. Now that I'm editing this video, I can see my struggle to multitask and how fast my mind moves that my speech can't even keep up. And I see now that I clearly wasn't up to the task of discussing the book with you in a coherent and understandable way. My thoughts were all over the place. So I'll try to summarize and add a voiceover here and there to make it somewhat easier to follow. Basically, in his book, whenever Ali has a task that he doesn't feel like doing, he asks himself, what would it look like if it was fun? His answer obviously varies depending on the circumstances. So for example, when he was working in the hospital as a doctor and had to fill in long reports, he realized that if it were fun, there would be music playing. So he would work while listening to soundtracks like Pirates of the Caribbean or Lord of the Rings. By the way, great choices. That inspired me to add another question. What would it look like if I had confidence? If I had the confidence to be who I am, I'd just be myself, and that would be so refreshing, less tiring, and something I really long for. So I thought to myself, let's pretend for a week that I'm the most confident person on earth, and just, you know, be this character that has confidence. To have a higher self-esteem is something that I'm working really hard on, and I can't say I see much results. It's way better than it used to be when I was a teenager or a kid, obviously, but it's also because you grow up and you understand a few things, so you know how to behave and how to act. But truly, in my heart of hearts, I don't have much confidence and my self-esteem is really low. I'm very critical with myself and I always have this negative talk going on in my head. So it's really hard work for me to work on that and to love myself and, you know, to let go of all the expectations and be myself, and it's not easy. So what I'm thinking is to actually ask myself, what would a super confident person do? And that's how I ended up randomly chatting with you guys with no script or plan. So yeah, let's see what else this day brings. Anyway, some lipstick and I'm done. I know it doesn't really count because I needed to add a voiceover, but I guess it's a first step. So let's just to give a little bit of, I don't know about you, but I love the smell of sunscreen. Like, this doesn't have the classic smell of sunscreen. I'm loving this one as well. All right, let's do this. Once that's sorted and I feel a little more like a human being, I'll sit at my desk and finish the final step of my annotation process. If you'd like to know more about how I annotate, I'll link my video on screen and in the description box below. Afterward, I'll create a short to-do list of the things I absolutely must accomplish that day, and I aim to start my workday right at 9. And that's about it. That's how my mornings typically look like lately. There's a big room for improvement. I really want to have time to do some journaling and the morning pages, but I'm taking my mornings very slow, so normally I don't have the time for that. And 2 days ago, I didn't even have my desk set up, so I didn't really have the vibe to sit down and journal, and everything was a bit too chaotic to actually relax and journal. But now, slowly, I feel like we're getting there, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll have a better morning routine. And yeah, but that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for spending the morning with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.